Gentleman from New Hampshire, Mr. Guinta.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Stump, for being here. I share in the frustration and the anger and the displeasure of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle relative to this particular issue. And I have listened over the course of this, of your testimony, and there are a number of what I would consider inconsistencies, either based on what you've said today, what was in your oral testimony, or what you had stated in the Senate hearing last week. So I want to clarify a few things. In your oral statement, you said that you made a recommendation to the board that it take certain actions regarding your salary and other pay.
That is my testimony, and that's accurate.
When did you make that recommendation?
It was, today is Thursday. It was sometime before the independent board met without me. I don't recall. It might have been. It was before or during the board meeting. But I referred. I made comments about that to our lead director that I wanted to do that.
Are we talking about last week or this month?
No, last week.
Last week, before or after the 20th?
What day is today?
20th is Tuesday. Today is the 29th.
It was sometime after. It was sometime on the weekend, I believe, to the best of my recollection.
So it was after the Senate.
It was after the Senate
After the
hearing.
Senate hearing. So before, you had said to the Senate Banking Committee that you didn't want to prejudice the Compensation Committee or the board process.
Correct.
And since the 20th, you did exactly that. So what's changed from the 20th to today, the 29th? I
felt that it would not prejudice them. I didn't want to prejudice them, but I thought it was, and they can do more if they want to. They have all the rights and responsibilities.
No, I understand that. What I don't understand is on the 20th, you said to the Senate you did not want to prejudice them, and then 4 days later, the 24th, which was the Saturday over the weekend, you did a reverse course. So what happened between the 20th and the 24th for you to change your mind on that issue?
I decided that this was a good way to show at least a start to show my level of commitment.
Well, why wasn't that important then before the 20th?
I was preparing for other things, and it didn't cross my mind at that time. I developed that thinking sometime over the weekend.
Well, this is a pretty big compensation hit, right?
Again, it's what I thought was right for me to do, to recommend to the board at that time, and they can do more. They have all the independence, and I didn't believe that. I thought that was the right thing for me to do.
What about the clawback of Ms. Tolstedt's pay? When did you make that recommendation?
That recommendation, she does not report to me. That recommendation was made by her boss.
When were you aware of that recommendation?
I was aware of that sometime.
Before the 20th?
It was sometime over the weekend also, I believe. I don't recall the exact days. Maybe on
both were after the 20th?
Maybe, yes.
Okay. I want to go to a different issue. Do you currently have sales goals at Wells Fargo today?
We have. They end in our regional bank tomorrow. And the reason we didn't take them out before, we have not, the vast majority of our people do the exact right thing. We don't want to hurt them from a compensation perspective. And we thought we could do this, and do it right, and put other goals like customer loyalty and other things that customers really appreciate by January 1. We now know that we can do it by October 1. So we don't want to hurt them. And we also want to make sure our customers get treated well.
Let me move on to the CFPB.
Yes.
You've been asked several times how many employees of the CFPB were embedded at Wells Fargo. And I think what you said is something to the effect that you will do your best to work with us, but you didn't say clearly whether you would actually provide us that number. So I'm curious, would you provide us with that number when you get it?
Again, I don't know that answer. I'll work with our team. The best I can do is promise you that I'll consult my team.
I understand you don't know the number today. I'm saying when you work with your team to identify the number, will you then share it with with Congress?
You know, again, I don't know if that's a confidential supervisory matter or information.
CFPB employees are public employees, aren't they?
You know, I don't want to make a promise to you that I can't keep. So I will promise that our team will look at it.
Speak with your leadership and try to get us something in writing as to whether you can provide us that.
I will
answer.
work with them as soon as one of the things as soon as I get done.
Thank you, sir.
Time of the